everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Happy Tuesday to you all. I hope that you're having a fantastic day so far, whether your day is just beginning, in the middle, or towards the end. I hope that it's just fantastic. If your day is like right smack dab in the middle and that's when you're listening to us, I hope that it will just continue to be good, be productive, be just feel great in general. If it's kind of rough, I hope that it gets better. But if you are having a rough day, I always encourage everyone to do the 5-minute reset, which is to take at least 5 minutes to be by yourself, which allows you to have a reset, restart, reboot time for you to just kind of take a break from the day and restart it again. Also gives you an opportunity to take a break from any burdens, worries, troubles that you are having currently. And if you are dealing with any problems that are that you are like face-to-face dealing with, having to struggle with, I encourage you to take some time to problem solve those so that after the 5-minute reset you can go back and face the issue either right then or whenever you can with a resolution to move forward from that problem. I always encourage everyone to make a list of at least 4 things that you are grateful for. Those can be really big things, really small things, or really medium-sized things. You can be really grateful for having people over finally after a long time after quarantine. You can be really grateful for getting extra rest over the holiday weekend if you did observe it where you live. You can be really grateful for actually receiving a letter in the mail from a close friend of yours. That happened to me. It's super great. And so you can be grateful for literally anything, and that's what makes the list never ending, and it just makes the possibilities of what you can be grateful for and reflect back on so amazing and never ending, again, like I said. And last but not least, I always encourage everyone to make sure that before you leave your 5-minute reset that you are feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day, because you do not want to pass along your bad mood, your bad attitude to anyone else. And despite what you're going through, after taking some time to list things that you are grateful for and to kind of like take a break from all the burdens and worries and troubles you're going through, you should be able to have positive things you can still focus on and reflect back on despite the problems that you're currently dealing with. I understand that it's really easy to focus on the negative, but we need to take more time to focus in on the positive that'll help us get through those really hard times. But I hope that on this Tuesday you are having a really good day. Just a reminder that this week we are talking about minimalism and the mind, and today, Tuesday, we're specifically talking about reducing comparison fatigue, which I'm sure that you're like, I don't understand how this fits in with minimalism, but we will chat about that. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. Comparison fatigue is one of those things that we may not realize we are struggling with. It is the mental and emotional fatigue that comes from comparing ourselves to others online, in person, or just in theory in our minds. So obviously, I'm sure that many of you are aware or have experienced comparing yourself to someone on the internet, whether it is within a social media app or you're just reading a news story about a celebrity or someone that, is very financially wealthy or just super important in the world, and you're like, oh my gosh, or maybe someone that they report has won the lottery. A lot of times we always wish that we were someone else. We don't necessarily wish that we will continue being who we are and growing in that. We want to grow into someone else because of the fame and fortune and opportunity that has happened to them. So I'm sure that that's not new for you, or maybe you are very I guess you could say you're jealous, or you are comparing yourself to the peers in your everyday life, people that you work with, people that you go to church with, people like parents of your children's friends, maybe your own really close friends, because those people might be in a different season of life than you. They might have had different opportunities than you. They might be a different age group at all, and so that their life has just turned out differently because everyone makes different choices. But you are just comparing yourself to these people, and sometimes you may not even realize it. You may not even realize that you are trying to change who you are and make decisions based upon what you think someone else would do or what they are doing because you want to be like them. And then when I talk about just comparing ourselves to people in theory in our mind, maybe someone has told you about someone that they know and you don't know them, but you're already comparing yourself to them because maybe their lifestyle just seems so rich and lavish or something that you would really like or have always wanted, and you're already comparing yourself to that person in the theory and not even knowing who they are. So comparison fatigue is that fatigue that comes of just feeling like so down, so like not wanting to necessarily be yourself and be just so like pooped out because you spent all this time wishing that you were someone else and like pronouncing like your flaws in comparison to their positive qualities and things like that. So comparing yourself to others really only brings pain and feelings of being miserable. Obviously, it's not going to like make you happy to be like, oh my gosh, her body is so much smaller than mine, or they make so much more money, or their children are way more behaved, or she has nicer clothes and a bigger home and a nicer car and a husband and all of these things. You know, you're not going to be happy talking about what you don't have and what they have and what you feel like you would want. It's not fun because it causes you to look at all you have and think it's worthless or not enough because someone else has more or something you think is better, when you know how like you're happy with your life, you're feeling good, things are looking up, but then all of a sudden you start comparing yourself to people on the internet or in real life and everything just seems terrible all of a sudden, when actually you're very happy and content. But then when you realize that someone has gotten something bigger, better, more awesome, something that you've been wanting for a long time and you're still working towards, but they just get it a lot quicker than you do, then all of a sudden everything's terrible, right? It's amazing how quickly our mind can just shift and be like, oh no, you know, since they have it and I don't have it now, especially if it's someone very close to you and they're like, oh my gosh, this amazing thing happened to me, and you're like, couldn't that happen to me? Especially if you feel like you are superior. And I know that sounds really selfish and pompous, but some people truly believe, and I've definitely been there. I'm not gonna front, like I've been there where I'm like, well, I have my life together more than that person. How come I haven't gotten it? You understand? Like circumstances are just different for everyone. And, you know, sometimes there's like chance, and then the way that everyone runs their life, you know, everyone's going to get different opportunities and reach goals and achievements at different rates. So you have to just realize that it's just not worth it. Also, it's just not worth feeling so good about yourself and then all of a sudden everything just falling apart because someone else got something that you wanted or that you think you need or that just seems better in general. But I want to point out that you may not understand what that person went through or is going through to achieve the thing or status. You know, it probably isn't all daisies and sunshine, and you might not know that that person could be just as miserable as you, but really good at hiding it. I definitely wanted to bring this up because especially on the internet, and I know that a lot of people talk about it, but it's tough because you might see someone in your feed for whatever social media app that you prefer to use that is so happy, smiles all the time, you know, the whitest teeth ever, and their hair is always done, and they always have these amazing family portraits with their new baby and their children and their beautiful, sexy husband and whatever else in front of their beautiful, like 3-story home with their 2 designer cars and pets and whatever else. But then you don't know the real story, right? Despite how much people share online and are trying to be transparent, believe me, I try to be as transparent and authentic as possible because I think it's important for people to realize that there are so many people out there struggling day to day. And yeah, it would be nice if more people that have the money and the status and the celebrity would share their hard times. But I also understand that people that are going through hard times like to see things that might appear as like a fairy tale and more uplifting, and things to try to create as their own personal goals is helpful. But I do think that it's very important to be transparent and authentic, because then I just feel like we're living a lie, right? Like that person that you see online that is always happy, but you don't know You don't know if they're struggling. Maybe right after they took that family picture, they all started fighting. Or maybe their husband is actually sleeping in a different room, or maybe they're actually separated and they just haven't told anyone. Or maybe they are facing some sort of financial hardship, but they're able to keep it together with credit cards and they just want to save face. You know what I mean? Or maybe everything in their life seems perfect to everyone else, but they are dealing with crippling anxiety and depression day in and day out, and they have to super fake it every day to take that picture so that they can continue to, perform for everyone else out there. Like, I just want to make the point that you don't know. You don't know what someone else is going through. It's so tough. And a lot of people feel like they have to save face because if they are honest and true, then there might be backlash. People might not believe them, or they might not be as respected as they feel like they are now. They might feel like they're letting people down. There are so many reasons. So just be careful with how you are comparing yourself to someone else and being like, well, they're so happy with all this stuff. I will probably be happy with all this stuff. And that's not true at all, because maybe you'll be happy for like 5 minutes, but maybe you'll realize how big of a burden having all of those things that they have is, and the burden that they have to deal with day in and day out that you have no idea about. So I definitely needed to tell you that. You have to find a way to come to terms with what you have and be happy in that. You have to find happiness in yourself, not in your lack of things or stature. You have to find that happiness deep inside yourself. You can't find it in objects. You can't find it in people. You have to find it in yourself. You have to figure out what truly brings you joy, fulfills you, makes you want to get up every single day and push yourself harder and grow and learn and make mistakes and try again. Like, you have to. And I spent personally so many years of my life thinking that happiness was found in, pleasing my husband, like 24/7, trying to read his mind, trying to do everything I could to make him happy, when in general, it does make me happy to make him happy, but it was like my full-time job. I was making it my full-time job on top of my full-time job. And I had to take a step back and realize that, yeah, I do. I want to be there for him and do everything for him and do as much as I can. But I really need to take a step back and realize that, that was also affecting him, because I was kind of being that crutch to him dealing with his own things. And I needed to deal and face my own things. I was really just hiding from all the issues and problems that I was dealing with under the surface. So, you have to take a step back and really change your perspective and realize that, okay, I can't just use all of these things to distract me. You have to find what will truly make you happy and do it for yourself, And maybe you do want to go and work every day and save money to buy that really, really nice car. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Or maybe you work and so hard so that you can buy the next designer piece of clothing, handbag, or shoe. That's fine. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to make sure that it's something that it's truly what you want and not based upon what someone else has and it seems nice and that's what you want to do to try to fill the emptiness that you may or may not have inside. One of the best things that minimalism will teach you is that things do not bring you happiness or joy, nor do those things complete you. They just don't. And I used to think that things did make me happy, and there's definitely been times where I would just go shopping and spend money, and it would be really stupid, and it's a problem. And I actually, one of those time periods of my life was during quarantine here. So when quarantine was into full swing here, I was just buying things online all the time. I'm sure I wasn't alone, but I was just buying things and I didn't really need them. And honestly, it created a lot of clutter in my home. And I've talked to my husband about this, and it was a problem. It was a problem because I thought it was going to bring me the happiness that I was missing in being able to go out and do things outside of my home and, other personal problems that I was dealing with. And yeah, but it just didn't. No matter how many things I bought and how much money I spent, it just wasn't. The happiness wasn't there. The happiness was when I started spending more time thinking about this brand that I want to create, the projects that I want to continue to work on, this podcast that I want to continue to get better and better. It's like when I actually put my focus into those things, those are the things that make me happy. Those are the things that make me want to stay up really late and do work on and kind of create ideas and that kind of thing. Those are the kind of things that bring me happiness. So you really have to realize that, minimalism of getting rid of things that are going to distract you from the things that actually bring value and joy and happiness and completeness to your life, that's what you need to do. It is a common idea that the more things you have means you are more successful or better off, when really getting rid of what does not contribute to you fully valuing the important things in your life grants you the freedom to no longer feel less than or inadequate for not being able to keep up with the Joneses. So think about it. Like, when people have accumulated homes, cars, fancy clothes, people to wait on them, people to do things for them, it seems like they're very successful, right? But like I said, you never know what kind of mask people are wearing. You never know what's happening beneath the surface, right? And maybe with all of those things happening in their life, they don't have enough time to really focus on the things that they find true value in. They don't have that freedom because they're too all over the place. And by adopting a mindset and a lifestyle of minimalism, by getting rid of the things that really are just not creating happiness for you, that are kind of just clutter, that are just there because you just wanted to buy it that one time, or you feel like you need it, or someone told you that you needed it, you're able to give yourself that freedom to really focus on, okay, I have, like for me, we are working to get rid of stuff. And for me, I definitely would not get rid of like my equipment that I use to record the podcast, because having that stuff and having maybe like less random books or random video games that I don't play, or less clothing to have to wash and clean and put away, and shoes to do the same, and things like that are just that I don't need around the house, will give me less time to have to focus on those tasks, focus on dealing with those items, where I can pour more time into my podcast, or I can pour more time into other things that have to do with the brand that I would like to build someday. So it gives you that freedom. It just really gives you the freedom. It also gives you the freedom to not feel less than when you don't have what everyone else has. If you are able to adopt the mindset and realize that you only want to have things that have true value and are actually truly important to you, and you're not just trying to keep up with everyone else, then you're free from that. Then you're like, wow, it's like, okay, when they get something, when they are getting a new car, or they're getting new clothes, and maybe you're even there with friends that are at the mall and they're getting all these beautiful designer things that, maybe you can't afford, but you're fine. Like, and you don't want them, because that's not going to truly make you happy. You feel like you don't have to measure up anymore, because you've made the decision that you only want things into your life that actually bring true value, that actually mean something to you, that you actually cherish, and that won't distract you from the most important things in your life. It just takes a weight off of you. And I like that idea. I like the idea of just being free to not have to measure myself against someone else. And even thinking about it right now in this moment, it just makes me so happy to think okay, so for me, I do have a lot of stuff. I'm even looking around the room that I'm in right now, and I have a lot of stuff, and there's definitely stuff that I got rid of, and there's probably a little bit more I'm going to get rid of before we move, because we're in the process of moving, but I do like to have enough clothes to have a different wardrobe season to season. I've definitely cut that back, but I do want to be able to invest in pieces that are beautiful and that cost a little bit more, but I know are going to, make it through the wash more times than something I bought at Forever 21 or even American Eagle. And it's just, and I don't want to have to 2 years from now take all of that stuff to Goodwill, because it just got all ruined, or it's out of style, or it's not cool anymore, quote unquote. You know what I mean? I want to be able to buy really nice sweaters and jeans and dresses and wear those again and not feel bad about re-wearing outfits. And because I like to look fashionable, but my job isn't to be fashionable, so I don't feel that need to have to not outfit repeat. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just think it's important. I want you to take some time, if you haven't already, to really think about if you are struggling with comparison fatigue, if you find yourself continuously comparing yourself to other people and you just feel so tired afterwards, and if it's getting in the way of you truly being happy and being content with where you are in life and what you currently have, I want you to take some time to really consider it. You know, I want to end with talking about that the gift that minimalism gives is the mindset of no longer having those feelings of not being able to keep up with others in the possessions department when you see them buying something new or going on lavish trips. Like I mentioned before, you just end up being genuinely happy for them that they are doing what makes them happy, because you are doing what makes you happy. You're out there. You're not buying stuff because you don't want it, or maybe you are. Maybe when you do go shopping, they're like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna go to all of these fast fashion stores, and you're like, no, I'll go with you and I'll like watch you try things on and support you, but then maybe we'll go to a more expensive store and I'm gonna buy like one or two things because these are the things I need to include in my wardrobe right now, and that's fine. Like, it's fine to be different from people. It's fine to live a different lifestyle, and it's fine to be happy with where you are and be happy where someone else is. Like, you don't have to be the same. And if someone is trying to make you feel like you are less than because you don't own a pair of like Manolos, or you don't have a really fancy car, or you don't have, I don't know, really expensive jewelry or something like that, or you don't have a huge giant home and all of these things, just realize that they are trying to use their things to make you feel bad about themselves because they truly are not happy with everything that they have, right? A lot of people that have stuff, lots of stuff, and that people like are comparing themselves to or jealous of or just admire them for that thing, that's what they get off on. They get off on people admiring that they have all of these things and that they're so sought after. But if they discover that there are people out there that are like not necessarily wanting to be just like them, that really hurts their ego, because their whole point of having all this crap is for them to show off and seem like they're like the best, the biggest, the baddest, you know what I mean? And I don't think you're going to run into a lot of these people, but I want you to know that if you do run into people like this, it's because they are super insecure with where they are in life, and the only thing that they're able to really feel good in is that other people want to be like them. And once they lose that, they know that they're going to lose everything. They're going to be lost, and they're going to have to start over again. So just remember that. If someone is trying to make you feel bad about you not measuring up to who they are, one, that's kind of a trash attitude to have, and two, they're just trying to bring you down to where they're actually truly feeling. So don't worry about them. Move on. Be happy in where you are and what you have. Well, that's it, you guys. I hope that this episode made sense. I really just wanted to hammer home that the fact that comparison fatigue can be overcome with adopting a minimalist lifestyle and attitude, because it allows you to become free from comparing yourself to others, because you are content and you find value in what you have and what you're doing and what you spend your time in, and that is most important to you, and that makes you happy. So thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. I hope that you really enjoyed this episode, and then if you did and you know someone else that would, please share it with them. Please check the description box for show notes, also for where you can find me on Instagram, which is at Real Positive Girl Podcast. Send me an email with any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, or just to say hi to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. And that's it. I hope that you come back and listen to the rest of the episodes this week talking about minimalism and the mind. But until then, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.